All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with these two beauties over here. I've got Hinderer knives, Eklipse, and ZT0393 for a quick comparison review. But hey, don't forget to like and smash that like button, and maybe you can also subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed to. So let's go ahead and check these guys out because they're very similar, but there's some differences. To be honest, I like them both. There's something I like on this more than that, and vice versa. So let's check that out. We've got, of course, these two, this Hinderer design, of course, Eklipse 0393, Hinderer knives, zero tolerance. So you have something very, very similar indeed, but let's just check, like you start from the scales. You see that the outline is a little bit different, more pointy up here for the ZT and a little bit less on the Hinderer. And then flipper tab is pretty much the same, but as you can see, there's a little bit of difference in the jimping. It's a little bit, I would say, a little bit more aggressive on the Hinderer, and then you've got this pretty cool divot going on over here. And on the back, you notice, of course, 3 standoffs for the Hinderer and 2 standoffs for the ZT. And then, like on this side, you've got, of course, a little bit different jimping going on. You have external relief cut for the lock bar, which is external but covered by this overlay over here, and then pretty much they're gonna be pretty much similar, the scales. Like from this side, you see that the Hinderer has a G10 scale that is perfectly overlapping the liner underneath, and the ZT actually has like an overlay that is, I mean, it's a scale, but it's you see, like just it's overlaid, and it's a scale, but not that much right in the between. So I don't know if I call this liner lock. I wouldn't. I would just call this like a frame lock with some scales on top, but also on the back. So in this case, on the back, you just have titanium, not a scale like in this case. And then you can see that basically there's like the chamfering also, it's a little bit different because you have it on this side over here. You can see maybe like that. Yeah, so it's wider on the Hinderer and it's thinner on the ZT. This is just a Hinderer scale clip, sorry, so just don't worry about that. And then you have another couple options, another couple of differences, sorry, like the pocket clip, as you can see, as a slot to be mounted on the show side on the ZT, nothing going on the Hinderer. You flip it around and you see that in the Hinderer, you can just do tip down carry and tip up. In this case, it's only tip up carry on the ZT. You see that the ZT has a captive pivot, which is spinning on the Hinderer. Just keep that in mind. Externally screwed stainless steel lock face insert also here, but you cannot see it because it's covered by this G10 over there. Of course, you've got probably the same amount of grippiness, but I would give it to the Hinderer. It's a little bit grippier. This is a little bit sleepier. It's not, but this is grippier. And on the back, the ZT wins because there's more grip here than that than on the Hinderer for sure. Also, you've got different thickness in the slabs. Look at that. You can clearly see that the Hinderer is more overbuilt compared to the ZT because of the thickness of this slab. Really, really cool. Also hardware, there's more hardware going on because of the 3 standoffs compared to the 2 going on over there, and pretty much when the blade is closed, these are the difference. I don't see anything else more. Like if you open the blade, you're gonna notice even more differences because I mean, this is like a swedged spear point, and here you've got a spanto harpoon, so completely different shapes. You can choose like many shapes on the Eklipse, but you can see for example, from this point of view, that the jimping is pretty much the same. I would say the same kind of bite you got to both, but on the Hinderer it just starts right at this point, whereas on the ZT it just starts a little bit before. And then you can notice that the thumb studs are also different, and they act as a stop pin in both cases, even if there's a stop pin on the inside, giving this Hinderer a little bit more sharpness than the ZT. And you have, of course, like the swedge, you have the harpoon on the harpoon over here on the ZT. There's no harpoon on the Hinderer. In this case, you've got 20 CV steel and M390 steel in this case, which is pretty much the same steel. Yeah, you see like dual tone finish in this ZT. You've got just a battle black stonewash for the Hinderer knives. You can also check like you see like this sharpening choil. It's a little bit bigger, almost like a finger choil. I mean, you can use it kind of like with the tip, not the full finger like it's just gonna cut you, but it's wider. A little bit more chamfering also going on around the flipper tab. And the biggest, not the biggest, but one big difference is the disengagement of the lock bar area. Because if you check on this, from this angle over here, you're gonna see that the Eklipse is in the Hinderer is just pretty much flush, and you have to kind of jam your finger in it to close the blade. Whereas on this guy you have a little bit an area sticking out, so it's easier to disengage the lock bar. So keep that in mind. Also, something that is better in favor of the ZT is the action. I was able to tune this guy like to this point over here. Look at this. Gorgeous, really, really gorgeous. Whereas on the Hinderer, on the Hinderer, it's a little bit less. You need a little bit more jiggling to get the blade closed. And for what concerns the stock thickness, let's just quickly check the ZT first. So ZT is going to be at 0.154, and this guy is 0.1625. So Hinderer has a thicker stock. Let me see right behind the edge. This guy is going to be 0.023. So 0.023 at that point, and this guy is going to be right over here. Oops, tends to slip like over here, 0.023. So they're pretty much ground at the same thinness. So they both have flat grind, and they are pretty good slicers indeed. And this guy is a little bit more overbuilt. Let's just quickly check the weight on the Hinderer, because it's gonna be, I think, a little bit heavier. There's more stuff going on, of course. 5.21 ounces. This guy is 4.97 ounces. So yeah, it's of course this guy, there's more substance. It's more, feels heftier. There's more substantial hardware, more like thicker slabs. And sound-wise, Hinderer sounds deeper when you open it. When you close it, ZT, and when you close Hinderer, the pitch of the Hinderer is lower. Nice clack, and louder for the ZT. One more time. Yeah, it's louder, definitely. And yeah, closing sound is pretty much the same. From the ergonomic point of view, I think we are on par, because they are both feeling pretty good. You see these two finger grooves, you see the jimping going on over here, nice dimple. It's pretty much the same, but the fact that the Eklipse is thicker, it feels my hand nicer. It feels a little bit better in the hand. So just don't forget that, because it's a very important factor. Like it is a very important factor, the price, because this guy is going to be around $420 and this is going to be around $230. So you have $200 less around from on the ZT. So that's something that might you might factor in if you are in the market for one of these two, or these two guys. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like and to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.